your cat just knocked something off the shelf, you raised your voice, and now they're sitting across the room watching you. And most people call that indifference. It isn't. What's actually happening in that moment is something most cat owners never learn to recognize. Cats do apologize. They always have. But the way they do it looks nothing like what we expect, and that mismatch means most people walk right past those moments, or worse, they punish their cat for attempting them. Here are 6 ways your cat says sorry, and why missing them may be quietly costing you more than you know. 1. The eyes that close like a confession. You're still tense. Maybe something broke, maybe you raised your voice louder than you meant to, maybe the whole exchange left a strange chill in the room, and your cat is sitting a few feet away watching you. Then slowly, their eyes close. Fully, most people know that a slow blink from a cat signals affection and trust, but the version that appears right after conflict, that one carries something different. Here's what's happening inside their brain. The moment stress enters the room, a shift in your tone, a change in your posture, your cat's nervous system registers a potential threat. Every instinct says leave, create distance, get to safety, but they don't leave, they stay, they look at you, and they shut their eyes. Think about what that costs a predator. An animal whose survival depends on constant awareness is choosing to go blind, deliberately, in front of someone they've just upset. That is not a small thing, that is a calculated act of vulnerability. Research from the University of Sussex identified slow blinking in cats as a deliberate social signal, not a reflexive one. What's even more striking is the effect of responding in kind. When you blink back, your cat's stress measurably decreases. When you stay tense or look away, their brain registers it as a failed repair attempt. If every slow blink they offer goes unanswered, they eventually stop offering. Not out of stubbornness. Because they learned it doesn't work. And what you're left with is a cat who seems emotionally withdrawn, distant in a way you can feel but can't quite name, and you may never know the exact moment they stop trying to close that distance. I'll come back to one signal that almost every owner punishes without realizing it. It's the one that looks like aggression but isn't. Stay with me. 2. The headbutt that rewrites the room. The tension hasn't fully cleared. And then your cat walks over and presses the top of their head into your hand, your arm, your face, and holds it there. Most people take that as sweetness and move on. But if it happened right after conflict, the timing is everything. Cats carry scent glands along their forehead, cheeks, and chin. When they press those areas against you, they leave their own chemical signature on your skin. Behaviorists call this bunting. In calm moments it reads as affection. When it follows tension, the purpose shifts entirely. Stress changes the way you smell. Your cat, whose social world runs almost entirely on chemical information, detects that shift immediately. To them it registers as a disruption in the bond. So they do the most direct thing they can. They walk up and overwrite the signal. They mark you again with their own scent, restoring the pattern that tells their nervous system the relationship is still intact. This is not accidental warmth. This is intentional. This is your cat, in the most instinctive way they possess, refusing to let tension be the final word between you. And in pressing their head against yours, they are choosing you. If your cat has ever done this, specifically in the aftermath of a hard moment, hit like and subscribe. More cat owners need to understand what they've been missing. 3. The gift they never give lightly. You're sitting somewhere quiet, still processing whatever went wrong. You look down. There's a toy right beside you. Maybe the small cloth mouse they carry room to room. Maybe the crinkle ball they've been guarding for months. Most owners toss it aside and figure their cat wants to play. But cats don't retrieve things the way dogs do. There's no habitual fetch instinct here. When a cat deliberately places an object near you, especially during or after tension, something more intentional is happening. Animal behaviorists have described this as resembling a reconciliation offering, a concept observed in other socially bonded species. The cat isn't suggesting a game, they're placing something of genuine value in your space because the relationship matters more to them right now than the object does. That toy is the one they sleep beside. The one they carry between rooms, the one they'll guard if another animal gets close, and they're putting it at your feet, voluntarily, because the need to close the gap between you outweighs every territorial instinct they have. They are offering the thing that comforts them, hoping it carries something across to you. Don't dismiss it. Pick it up, let your cat see the gesture landed. You don't have to make anything dramatic of it, just acknowledge what happened. That single response is the difference between a cat who keeps reaching toward you and one who quietly decides there's no point. The bravest apology your cat can make arrives carried in their mouth. 4. The grooming that heals them both. After something tense, your cat climbs up and starts licking your fingers. Maybe your chin, maybe the side of your hand. Most owners smile and move on without understanding what's being offered. In feral cat colonies, mutual grooming, allogrooming, is not something cats extend to everyone nearby. Research shows it's highly selective. Cats reserve it for individuals they share a strong social bond with. It isn't about cleanliness. It is relational maintenance, a direct tool for sustaining closeness and easing friction between bonded animals. But here's the layer most people never reach. When cats engage in grooming after conflict, it measurably lowers their own heart rate. They aren't just soothing you, they are calming themselves down by doing the work of repairing the bond. For your cat, the act of apologizing is physiologically how they return to a stable state. Making things right with you is how they heal. Most gestures of repair cost something: pride, the willingness to go first, the discomfort of staying vulnerable. For your cat, the cost is physical. Their own nervous system resets through the act of tending to yours. That's worth sitting with. 5. The belly as a white flag. You scolded your cat. And moments later, they roll onto their back and expose their stomach. Most owners read this immediately as playfulness. Or worse, they reach down for a belly rub and get scratched, and suddenly they decide their cat was being manipulative. But the cat was never asking to be touched. They were asking to be forgiven. A cat's belly is their most protected area. In the wild, no cat exposes it casually. When yours rolls over after tension, they are performing the most fundamental gesture of non-aggression they possess. They are making themselves physically defenseless in front of you to signal the threat is over, and to ask, without any words, for the same in return. When you reach down and grab at that exposed belly, you aren't accepting the apology. You're breaching the trust behind it. Your cat placed themselves in their most vulnerable position to extend peace, and that gesture was answered with a hand closing around them. Instead, stay still, lower your voice, offer a slow blink in return. Let your cat know the message was received. That quiet exchange does more to repair trust than anything else you could do in that moment. When your cat exposes their belly after a conflict, they aren't playing, they are surrendering. 6. The silence that stays. After something tense, your cat doesn't disappear. They start showing up wherever you go. Kitchen, hallway, bedroom doorway. They don't meow, they don't rub against you, they don't ask for anything. They just settle nearby and watch. This is the one I mentioned at the start, and it's the signal most owners punish without realizing it. Cats are genuinely self-sufficient. They are comfortable alone and have no trouble walking away from any room, any situation, any person. So when one chooses to do the opposite, when they trail you silently through the house, room after room, without a sound, that is not clingy behavior. That is a deliberate choice to stay close during emotional discomfort without demanding anything back. Behavioral researchers call this proximity maintenance. It appears in other bonded animals after social conflict. The message isn't spoken. It lives entirely in the fact that they didn't leave. We do the same thing after fights with people we love. We don't always have the right words, so we stay in the room, we make coffee, we fold laundry nearby, we exist close enough to say without saying it, I'm still here. Your cat is doing exactly that. And when owners respond by leaving the room or shutting a door, even without meaning anything by it, they are signaling to their cat that staying close didn't work, that the attempt failed, that the distance between you has been confirmed rather than closed. A cat who keeps receiving that signal will, over time, stop following. The next time your cat appears quietly in the corner of whatever room you're in after a hard moment, stay. Let them be near you without requiring anything of that nearness. Don't fill the silence, let it exist. That quiet presence is one of the most honest things your cat knows how to offer, and it is enough. If this video changed how you see your cat, share it with someone who has one. And subscribe to Pawsychology, because understanding the animal you live with is one of the most meaningful investments you'll ever make.